Yeah, what's up, everyone? Viking back with another mech game. This is not what I originally planned to do, but I wanted to do this because it's been years in the making and I haven't made a video on this game. So, this is Override Mech City Brawl. Look at these cinematics. This game is a game where you pick a mech, and it's kind of a brawl in the city type of thing. As you can see here, there's Kaiju monsters, and you are a battle mech, but it's also like a fighting game. We'll get into that a little later. Just want you to take a look and notice how the city destruction is, and there's pickups. I just picked up that sword, and I got a bunch of Kaiju flying around trying to take me out. And I mean, this is a indie game made by Modus, or published by Modus, in Brazil. I want to say it's done by a different studio, developed. I think Modus just published it, but this was the first in a series of 2 games. The other one is Override Mech Battle League or something like that. It's in the stores, you can look it up, but this was the first game and it has since been delisted, so you can't play this game unless you bought it when it was available. So I got it a while back, so I wanted to make a video on it since it's now going to get lost to the abysses of time in game history. And this game I thought was a fun game. Not perfect, granted, but for a mech game, like, look at this. So I killed that boss mech, and then that was a level. And then you do your little storylines like this with the cutscenes, my little pilot, and the general. And so it's your typical standard fare, but I think the graphics look really good, actually. The cinematic angles are really fun. So let's get into it. So this game has a versus mode, it had matchmaking, it has an arcade mode, and then the basic training and the garage mode I have highlighted. We'll take a look at the whole roster of mechs. But the arcade mode is where it's at since the game is defunct. You can go through with all these mechs have their own story mode, which is kind of fun. And it has little light RPG elements where you can upgrade your stuff. So we'll start with WatchBot. That's Japan. I think in this game every nation has a mech that they can use, for defense. So WatchBot is Japan's, I believe. The pilot's Japanese. As you go through the game, you unlock random. You don't have to buy them with microtransactions or anything. You can use in-game currency, but you unlock different color palettes. And actually, this is a different model for these characters. So it's kind of cool. You can get, a little personality going. Samurai mech. They all have different moves. So in this game, there's a jump button, X, a dash button, circle. Square is your modifier, triangle is your block, and then the 4 front buttons are your right leg, right fist, left fist. And then the joystick controls your character. So, and then lock on is you click the R stick down. So the controls are pretty intuitive. I mean, a dash, a jump, and then when you're in the air, if you jump and you hit L1, L2, you'll do like a dive kick. And if you're locked onto your opponent, it hits, goes right in, which you'll see in upcoming gameplay footage. But so these are the different robots you see here. I mean, it's kind of cartoony, some of the robots aren't like serious mech, but they all have their own, arcade mode where you get a feel for them. This one's kind of like a hunter guy. I think his special move is like a big lightning bow and arrow. This is Mexico's, I believe. It's like a fish wrestler luchador mech. Maya is a cat. This is Brazil. I think it's like a capoeira frogman, I want to say. Crystal, I don't remember what hers is. Metagekin, kind of your Mecha Godzilla type. Shifu is like, I think that's China. I want to say that's China, and that's like a little kung fu guy. This might be Mexico's, actually. This little Aztec guy. I can't remember. But It could also be, Bolivia or some other place. But it's like he's like an Aztec god type of guy. So kind of interesting, designs for big mechs. Also, there is, so everyone, when you use a modifier, the square button, all your face buttons do a different special move. So like, apart from being the punch, kick, whatever, you can hold square and hit the punch button and you'll shoot like a fireball out of your arm. And then there's a ton of pickups, weapons all over the game. This is a cool one, Mirai. I think this is I don't want to give spoilers, but it has to do with the story. This one, but this one unlocks. It's pretty sweet mech. Looks sweet. They have like a Gundam looking skin up here, I think, that I'm coming up to, but so the gameplay is weighty. When you knock when you uppercut a robot, it'll go flying back into buildings, and it has a nice feel to the combat, I think. But it's grounded, more of a grounded as opposed to War Tech Fighters, which is more as like a space shooter mech game. But this is fun, and I just want to kind of do an overview of this since it's delisted, and some people may never play it in the future. As far as whatever, I'm kind of doing a preservation of this game. I'm glad I can still play it, but kind of sad just cracking a can of water. Thinking anyway, sorry. Just thinking about the fact that nobody will ever get to play this. So the new game, I haven't played it, but it doesn't look as good as this. It's more of a arena-based fight thing. So this is a shame that this got delisted because I think this was the better game in this series. But we'll get into some footage. I love the presentation of this game. Pay attention to the presentation and the attention to detail and stuff like that. It's a little jank with the camera angles and sometimes when you're up against the walls, but you'll see. It's a fun game. So look at this presentation. You come down, you're in. This is one of the story mode arcades, or arcade mode story levels. So I'm in San Francisco, I think. Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah. So this is where his mech is malfunctioning and I'm going to have to fight him. So this is like the versus mode. If you want to just do quick matches, you do fights like this. But just pay attention to the detail. I mean, it looks like the little cars in the ground and stuff. The graphics look good, man. Look at that mech. Everything's real crisp. It's good. So we'll see how the gameplay is. And I'm not a pro by any means, but you'll get the gist of how it is. It's a fun game, and it's a shame that it's lost to the abyss of delisting. I'm really digging this mech that I am, the white and gold one. It's pretty sweet. Jeez Louise, come on. So I mean, if this game had a customization feature where you could like piece together your own mech and like special moves, man, that would be sweet. But look at the detail with the little cars flopping around and the buildings fall. I mean, it makes you feel like you're a giant robot fighting, which is a great thing. Look at that. But the arenas are somewhat small. You can see the force field wall around the outside of where you can go. But the dramatic cinematic angles really add to the game and really make it feel engaging. Ooh, look at that move. So yeah, Override. What the hell is the game called? Override Mech City Brawl? God, I hope that's right. It'll be in the title if I'm wrong, but yeah, I'm actually going through the story mode with each of the mechs right now because I want to see it all before I finally put the nail in the coffin, and I re-downloaded it so I could do that. But It's a shame. If you like mech games, this was one to play. I mean, I don't know. If you haven't played it by now, you probably maybe didn't have interest. But it's one of those games that I think is kind of a little... had elements of being a hidden gem. Like, look at that. Yeah, it's just cool. So we'll get into more of the monster fighting. So that was kind of the versus mode, you know, fighting other character type of deal. Now I'll show you the other part where it's fighting these kaiju that are trying to take over the world. It's kind of the premise of the arcade. So we'll get into it. Look at this. This is in Morocco. But look at this. I mean, this looks cool as hell, man. I mean... if they had more monsters, it would have been awesome, you know, more crossovers with, you know, Godzilla and Kong and stuff. How sweet would that be? I mean, that's a sweet shot right there. So yeah, I mean, the gameplay is, you know, a little bit, you feel like a big robot. So I mean, it's nothing, I mean, it's not a 10 out of 10, but this game is definitely very fun. It's sad that it disappeared. And some people will never be able to play it ever again. So these weapons pop up. So what happens is your team, like your group that you're with, they drop these pods via, you know, it's like a big airship will fly over the battlefield. They drop these pods that have random weapons in it, and you can pick them up. Like I have a shield here, so I can now use my arm to block damage, and then punch with the other arm. And I think I can pick up a beam sword or something or whatever. But it's kind of nice. These weapons kind of drop in, and they have limited use, you know, and then they break and they fall off your body. Or you can throw the weapons at the enemies, which I think I do coming up. There's like guns, like here, you know. So I mean, it has a cool variety of stuff. Giant guns, giant, you know, melee weapons. See, this is where it gets kind of janky when I'm pinned up against the wall, but otherwise it's pretty solid. And you know, it'd be cool to have, you know, like, I don't necessarily know if I like these kind of beat 'em up inspired, you know, with all these enemies. I'd rather fight the enemies one-on-one and kind of have a dramatic sense of, you know, the monster battles. So it's like, you know, make it a one-on-one fight with these monsters and give them a little more energy, make them a little tougher. That would be cool. And then you just progress up the ladder of tougher and tougher monsters to fight in like one-on-one battles. I mean, you really would need to, you know, I think this is like a fighting game. It has, you know, about 10, 15 levels. You know, I mean, if you're going to do one where you're fighting monsters one-on-one, you're really going to want like 50 different locales to fight in across the earth, you know. Antarctica, Russia, America, maybe 2 or 3 in America, depending on what cities they are. But, you know, you're going to need the variety so it actually seems like you're globe-trotting and taking out monsters, I guess. But hey, maybe I should make one of these big giant robot games and, you know, be the game director of how it goes. But yeah, this game, it's, you know, sad to see games like this disappear or get delisted so that, you know, people can't ever buy them in the future. I mean, it's definitely a game worth playing, and I mean, why not keep it around? And it makes, you know, somebody's gonna buy it at some point in time. I don't know. But that's why games being online or whatever suck, because they can just take them away and delist them, and then it's like they're lost to time. Like everyone has been saying, you can't preserve gaming history, which is sad. I mean, people have classic cars and old Ataris that are, you know, preserved throughout time. Somebody will want it sometime, you know, but this you can't even get anymore. Makes me sad. But I'll let this video footage play out. I just wanted to get this up. I I'm kind of on a Giant Mech kick right now. So the next few videos I'm going to be making are going to revolve around giant mechs and giant monsters. So hopefully you're down with that and you like these videos. Like I said, it's kind of at a whim. I'm going to go back to War Tech Fighters at some point if anyone cares. So that will be coming up. But thank you for watching. I'll let you guys take off, or I'll take off. I'll let you guys chill out. Viking out of here. Bye. Take care of yourselves. See you in the next vid.